Good morning, everyone. It's still dark and cold outside. Did anybody stay up and watch the full moon? I didn't. Not the full moon. The full moon's been up there. The eclipse of the full moon. Or like the meme showed it. It showed the full moon and a little black line going across it for the flat earthers. All right. Interesting times. We don't know for sure that the full moon, the blood moon, any of that stuff, the moon is used in biblical calendar. The new moon is used in biblical calendar, but red moons, we have them all the time. It has to do with the atmosphere. It's like when you see a red sunset. That is simply the sun reflecting off the atmosphere at a low angle. There's nothing magical about it. And there's certainly nothing biblically tied to it. Yes, we are to look into the skies and see things, and we have seen stuff recently that if that were 100% true, I'd say 100% we have a rapture coming. But it's not 100% true, so we don't know. But I go through, to come up with all this information to give to you, I go through headlines and I watch everything that's going on, and it is getting so difficult to find the truth. Stop that kitty. He's over here now and wants my attention. There. Say hello. Say goodbye. You're not coming up here now because all you're going to do is come up here and bite me. All you're going to do, yeah, see, he's trying to jump up and bite me now. There. No. Put the trash can in front of it, so then he attacks the trash can. Kitty. It's getting annoyed. There's a new thing on, I do use Facebook because I've got friends on there, and if I share things on there, they will see it. But you have to weed through it. I don't like weeding. I don't like gardening unless you want brown flowers. I'm really good at brown anything. And which is a weed and which is a plant? Pull them both out and let God sort them out. But it's getting so difficult. There's a current scam. I call it scam. It may not be totally bad, but it can be, so you got to be careful. There will be a Facebook comment that is outrageous, absurd, oh my God, whatever. See the first comment. And you go to the first comment, and there's a link to someplace else. They can't say it on Facebook. Facebook would let them say it, but they can't say it on Facebook. They take you to their site where they don't have anybody monitoring it. They don't have anybody complaining about it. If you don't like it, too bad, but the problem is links can be infectious. Never click on a link from somebody that you don't know for sure is sending you a link. We'll get into this subject in a second. I just sent my friend up in Kentucky a couple of voiceovers or voice. It's early and I haven't had my cup of coffee fully yet. I'm working on, this is my first cup. Technically, it's my second cup. My first cup I made without swapping out the K-cup. So it was very weak from yesterday. I poured it out and did it again. I didn't even change the K-cup. I need an IV with coffee running into it. Go get him, kitty. anyhow, I sent him these voice recordings. I had to do a captain's log. I play a Klingon for them. Kupla. Klingons have to have this tough, rough voice. And so I had to do my voiceover in that. You shall be avenged. So I had to do that, send it to him, because it's too far to go up and drive. And I have trouble remembering now. So I have to have it written down, which I did. I had it on my computer so I could record it. I just recorded a quick video. Stop it. I didn't even bother just to do the audio side of it. I just sent them 2 video clips. And then I upload them to my Google Docs page. And then you can share that. So you don't have to have some of these other platforms for sending files. You just have to maintain them. And recently I had completely deleted everything up on Google Docs in an attempt to stop paying them money. I was paying $10 a month at one point. I'm down to $2 because I couldn't figure out where the remaining files at. Here he's going. He's doing his terror runs. Get him, kitty. Get him, kitty. Okay. So the deception is enormous. We know that the majority of the people protesting in this country are either 1, outwardly deceived, or 2, willfully participating in a deception. Period. You don't go up there and especially it's absurd to see gays out there marching for Hamas. It's absurd. If they set foot anywhere near a real Hamas encampment in the Middle East, they would throw them off the nearest building or cliff. They would cut their heads off. They're totally anti-gay. They don't want these people to be alive, yet they're out there in the streets of the United States protesting for Hamas. It's absurd. Are they that stupid? Well, some of them are, unfortunately, but a lot of them are getting paid $40, $50, $100 to protest, depending on what they do. The billionaires like Soros and these other ones, if they could catch them in this stuff, they should be arrested and their money confiscated. But they're paying people to protest. We've still got they're sending 1,000 aliens a day back across the border, and I don't know how many are doing the reverse border crossing. But we had 20 million illegals here. They haven't gotten rid of 10% yet. It's going to take a long time. The only way you're really going to get rid of them is make sure there's nothing for them here. Nothing. If you're an illegal without proper paperwork, you can be here, but this bad guy that they just arrested, he had a green card, a student visa, because the colleges were complicit with this evil overthrow of the country. All right, but evil is around us, and one of the most evil things you can do is simply to lie, to bear false witness. This is a fundamental commandment. Now, Jesus said he didn't come to do away with the law, but to fulfill it. He fulfilled it in the way that he can forgive us and throw away our sins that we confess. Get him, kitty, kitty, kitty. He found his ball. Now he's going to be playing with that. And I brought another one in too. I find balls all over the place on the property because we've got a river on one side and the lake on the other, and balls float. So the river brings them down from Atlanta south. I got everything. I got a bin box down below. I've got to go pick up a little inflator But I got a bin box full of balls that I'm going to put some air in. They're perfectly good. They're most of them are almost brand new. Basketballs, soccer balls, footballs, all those that float down and then end up on the property. Okay, so thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Well, as Cain said, who is thy neighbor? There Kitty goes playing with the ball. Get him, Kitty. But he's got the attention span of a 3-year-old. He'll lose interest and go back to it, lose interest. Okay, the Hebrew for that is lo ta'ana bara aka ed sakur. Lo, and this is, in Hebrew is like Spanish, backward modifiers. So if you speak Spanish, you understand. Lo is not. Ta'ana, you shall bear. Not you shall bear. Bara aka, against your neighbor. Ed, witness. Sakur, false. So it should be, not you shall bear against your neighbor, witness, false. That's how you would read it. And that can be found in Exodus and also in Deuteronomy, I think 5. Deuteronomy 5. We're going to read Exodus just a little bit. We're just going to kind of go over the 10 Commandments. How many times do you read the 10 Commandments a year? And they're not just, boom, lined up. 1, this, 2, this. It's actually in a paragraph. So we're going to go to Exodus 21. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. It didn't start off bondage. They were very happy and flourished. They flourished so much that the Pharaoh became afraid that these squatters that they were given land to were going to outnumber them. So that's why they put him into slavery. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's the most important commandment. Number 1. And what's another God? Well, there's only one true God in reality. So if we have another God, it's going to be a little g God, not a big G God, because there is no other big G God. And it can be anything from a false God like Allah. I don't care what name you use. If it's a false God, it's a false God. There are Christian religions where their idea of God is someone to just hand out toys to kiddies like Santa Claus. Your false God can be money. Your false God can be any number. The Romans had a number of gods, one for each season. Thor, we have Thor's Day because of Thor. Saturn, Saturday. We celebrate the gods of Rome with our calendar. You shall have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or on earth beneath, or that is in the water under the sea. Now we do that all the time. We may call them statues. I mean, some can argue that even the cross that Christians wear is an idol. It can be. It shouldn't be, but it can be. Who and what are you worshiping? Are you worshiping God, or are you worshiping something less? Anything less is a sin. If you're worshiping anything less than God. I'm sorry, Catholics, but if you're going to Mary instead of to Jesus, it's in the 10 Commandments. No other gods before me. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, For I, the Lord, am a jealous God. No idols. The Romans had a statue outside the marketplace for all their gods. And because they were afraid of gods, as they should be, there should have only been one, they had one for the unknown God just in case they forgot somebody. Because they felt if you offended the God of that, whatever that is, there's a love God, Venus, and there's, of the thunder. There's one for the harvest. There's gods for everything. Why not make it simple? There's only one God. Just pray to one God and you've covered everything. You don't have to worry about it. Paul, when he got to Rome, said, I represent the unknown God, because you certainly don't know him. That's not what he said, but I added that. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of their fathers upon their children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. A lot of things okay, I'm back. I wasn't sure. It looked like my phone had stopped recording. These videos take up a lot of space, and every 4 or 5 days I have to delete my previous videos to make room on the phone. I've got a big memory, but I cannot make this recording app save it to my memory card where there's lots of room. It saves it to the phone. I can't change that. So I delete my old videos. Once they're up online, they're okay. And I am still trying to upload to Rumble. It won't let me upload. I don't know what the problem is. Okay. Exodus 26. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the Lord, the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Many people do that in the supermarket. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. He has a sense of humor, so it's okay to play a little bit, respectfully. For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. It's a sin. Confess it and throw it away and move on. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath day, the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor shall thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle. You can't let your cattle do the work. Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. You can't have servants in there. You can't have a visitor doing the work. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it holy. So that's why the Jews rest on the Saturday. Saturday is the final day, the seventh day. Now, why do we as Christians take Sunday off? Because Christ rose on the first day of the week, the new day, and we celebrate his resurrection. But one way or the other, you need to take a day off. Now, there are times when the law can be stretched. I don't want to say broken. Jesus' disciples, or apostles, when they were out and they were hungry, they picked wheat and ate it. And they said, you can't even pick wheat and eat it on the Sabbath. I mean, they were supposed to prepare their meals, their Sabbath meals, prepare them the day before. So they didn't even cook. Now, it said you couldn't stop breathing, because breathing can sometimes be work or laborious. They didn't say you couldn't eat. It said you just can't work. What's the definition of work? Oh, the The religious folk, after this was written, had a field day. You can't do anything. If your horse falls in the ditch, you can't go rescue him. But yet they did. If your sheep wander off, you can't go pull them back in. That's work. Exodus 20:12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord God giveth thee. Honor. With some parents, that might be difficult. One of the parents may have just up and left. It's a sad world we live in. There may be bad behavior from a parent. A parent might be a drunk. One or both could be on drugs. There are all kinds of reasons that can be a problem, but it still says to honor your parents, your father and mother. So say, God, forgive me. I find this difficult. But if you've got good parents, thank God for it, and then honor them. 2013, thou shalt not kill. The proper translation is thou shalt not murder. Otherwise, everybody who's ever gone to war is guilty of breaking this. Now, murder basically means to kill somebody for personal gain, or they've done nothing wrong against you and you still kill them. That's a legal term nowadays, but it's not technically thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Jesus said if you've committed adultery in your mind, it's the same as if you broke this commandment. If you thought about committing adultery, if you dream about it, if you watch porn, it's breaking this commandment. Thou shalt not steal. Do you understand why the government doesn't want the 10 Commandments up in government buildings? They don't want to be reminded, thou shalt not steal. We're finding so much theft. There's trillions of dollars out there that we will probably never get back. It would be nice if they could go after these people and say, you stole that money, and empty their bank account, fill up a government bank account with all this people's money, and pay down the debt, and start improving things. Use the shovel-ready money to actually operate a shovel and fix the potholes that I have to deal with daily. I am glad to see things going the way they're going, but they're fighting back. They're fighting back. Shall not bear false witness against thy neighbor. This was the theme for today. Deception is false witness. Don't lie. And who's your neighbor? Whoever you encounter can be your neighbor. Then it comes into the thou shalt not covet. They could have just stopped it there and just leave it at that, but then people would sit there and go, well, is it okay to covet this but not this? And what about this? So it goes into detail. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, talking about a donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Don't covet it. Don't be jealous of it. Don't want it. Now, if the guy gets a new lawnmower and it's really nice, and you got to cut your grass and you got an old beat up one, you might want to have a new lawnmower, but you're not wanting his. There's a difference. It's nice to see somebody get something better and newer. You know, if they get a new car, you don't have to get a new car. But if yours is beat up, falling apart, and you've been thinking about a new car, get a new car. But don't want what your neighbor's got. Maybe your neighbor has connections with people who sell cars, and you could talk to them about it. We're talking about coveting as opposed to just, that's a good idea. You can follow somebody's example. Just don't steal it. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed themselves and stood afar off. God's up on the mountaintop. He can't come down and be with the people. He used to walk the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. Has anybody ever lost a loved one that they used to walk with? It's hard. During this earthly lifetime, we will lose people, pets more than people, hopefully, because they don't live long. But we lose them. Now, will we see them again when we get to heaven? Yeah. Will we recognize them? I'm not 100% sure. I hope so. But we know their earthly life, and our earthly life is full of sin, so maybe we're supposed to just kind of start over. I don't know. So all this stuff scared the people. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. They knew they were sinning, and they didn't want God to deal with them. Get him, kitty. Get him, kitty. Where'd your ball go? I don't see it. Where is it? I don't know. Kitty lost his ball. There's like 4 of them here. He's got 4 balls that he plays with. I keep bringing them in, and you get him underneath something or behind something, and then he can't get it out, and he gives up for a little while until I find it. Let's finish this up, and then I've got a couple of questions for you. If you've stuck with me this long, you're a loyal follower, and I want to ask some questions about what to do, because I don't know what to do. Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God has come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not. He doesn't want you to be afraid, and he's afraid of hurting you, so he's going to stay up on the mountain. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near to them under the thick darkness where God was. Moses actually got to see God, sort of. He says, I'll walk by, you hide behind this rock, and I'll walk by, and you glance around the corner, and you will see my back. So he's got a structure. What's he look like? Don't know. We know what Jesus looks like, but we don't know what God looks like. And what kind of a form did he have when he walked with God in the Garden of Eden? I don't know. I've got more to cover, but I want to cover a topic here. And the topic is YouTube and my stats. So I want honest opinions from those people who watch these regularly. Am I delivering a good message regularly? Now, I do one every day, and so not every day is a message going to necessarily hit your like, need, or desire. All my numbers are down. I'm barely getting 100 views a day now, and I was getting 500 to 1,000. Is that because of the quality of my message, my presentation, or is it because YouTube is blocking you from seeing the videos? Now, I know YouTube blocks, because I've got friends that I asked, did you see my video today? No, I couldn't find your channel even. So I know that they're blocking, but I also need to know if I'm doing a good job. because I'm supposed to be channeling God through me so that you get a message that is speaking to you from God. I'm reading from the Bible. I can't get more godly in the message. But I need to know if I'm doing a good job. If I am, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. Pray for me always so that I always will give you good messages. But all my stats are down. Everything across the board. And they're on a downward trend. In 2 months, I will have two followers and 1 viewer, the way that the numbers are, until they start to come back up, if they do. It's YouTube. YouTube has doubled down since the election and doesn't want anything to help people. But yet you can find porn on YouTube. It may be soft porn, but you can find it. You can find bad guy stuff. You can find Hamas stuff on YouTube. You can find all kinds of stuff up there. But everybody else, I can't afford to put my stuff on another server. I tried Rumble, and right now I can't even upload to Rumble. And I don't know why they're blocking it. I don't know how they're blocking it. But I can't put it on Rumble. It won't go. Now I'm putting it on YouTube, and it may be that YouTube says that if it goes on YouTube, you're not allowed to put it on Rumble. I thought there was one selection that I've been selecting that says, you can have licensing except for YouTube. I don't know how that works. I cannot get it to upload. It fails, says retry, I retry, it fails. They used to have, Rumble used to have a program built into Rumble that would go over to YouTube and pull the video back. YouTube sued them and made them take it down. YouTube is evil. 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 They're doing right now on YouTube what the other social media sites have all been accused of. But why are they not accusing YouTube? I don't know. Facebook is lightened up a little bit. The only real reason I'm on Facebook is because I have friends and family on there that say they don't have any other way to keep tabs on what I'm doing. So I put stuff on Facebook. Because I've deleted Facebook. I had a full-blown, 5,000 personal and a professional with 1,000 or more on it. I've done away with it. Instagram is also owned by Facebook, so I don't use Instagram anymore. Now Zuckerberg said that he was paid to filter during the previous administration, and that he would stop it. He's not doing it out of the goodness of his heart. He's doing it because all these social media sites should know. He bit me. All these social media sites know that they're basically working on borrowed time. They are news outlets, but they're pretending not to be. And news outlets are regulated, but social media basically is not regulated. They're self-filtering, they're self-doing everything. There's nobody telling them what they can and cannot do. If they get reclassified, which they should, then they'd be regulated and taxed, which I think is the biggest part. So pray for me, because I'm struggling with seeing the poor performance on YouTube. I'm human. I will have ups and downs. I will have bad days, especially if I'm struggling with my family. There he goes. That right there was a cartoon example of, you see it on cartoons all the time, where the character in the cartoon starts to run and they're just running in place. His claws not being able to dig into the linoleum on the floor. I guess that's linoleum. It's not tile. They don't put tile in trailers because it's too heavy. They do put carpet. I've got carpet in here. Get him, kitty. He's entertaining, but he's distracting. It's starting to lighten up. I guess I can open my windows. I'll do that in a bit. I pulled the blinds down. The only window in this trailer that does not have a covering is in the kitchen. And I can see the hooks where there used to be one, but I have no idea. They probably had a curtain up there. I don't want to put a standard curtain up there because Kitty would rip it down in 5 minutes. I have clothes that I hang in the bedroom, so I've got changes of clothes already pulled out for the next day. If I don't keep an eye on it, he pulls everything down off the hanger onto the floor. Now he's over on his back looking at me. Okay. Yes, I'm talking about you, and then he takes off again. All right. I've covered enough. We're in high watch time. We've seen all kinds of stuff in the skies. The planets all lined up, and the blood moon and everything. We've already had Purim, and there was a blood moon on Purim. I mean, what more signs do you need? But what are they signs of? Do we have a rapture coming? To me, it's logical that the rapture would be the next event to stop Trump and his people from doing what they're doing. They're fixing things. They're putting the United States back. I'm looking over in Europe now, and Europe is behind us in figuring this out. They've appointed Muslims in charge of their government, and their government hasn't enacted Sharia law, but they're probably very close to it. They just put a Muslim in the UK. I forget which country was it, Ireland or someplace. He's a full-fledged Muslim. He's got the beard and the towel head. And they just put him in charge of some important department. I just saw it glancing through the news this morning, and it's like, are you guys crazy? If this guy is truly dedicated to the Muslim religion, he doesn't care about the people. He, in fact, wants the people to die that aren't Muslim. They don't want you to have a life. They're going around the world killing people. They're killing Christians and others that are of a different sect even. S-E-C-T, sect. They've been fighting amongst themselves. There's factions within the Muslim religion. Two primary with a couple of smaller ones. And they're all fighting. There was a civil war going on in the Middle East long before they figured out, if we make Israel the bad guy, we'll stop fighting amongst ourselves and we'll start fighting Israel. That was a political move. Yep, he found another ball. There he goes. Go get it. That one's red. The other one was green. Go get it. All right. This is getting way too long. I need to wrap it up. Pray for me always. If you have prayers and you do drop them in the comments occasionally, put them in the comments. I add them to my prayer list and we'll pray for you. And we also get the advantage of the few of us that are left that are still watching these videos. We'll see the comments and pray for you. You only have to have 2 or more. And God will be in the midst. Until we meet in the clouds. Soon, I hope. Blessings.